new bill is headed to the Senate after the House passed its laddered continuing resolution yesterday. Senators are likely to vote yes, and Biden has indicated he's likely to sign off on it, averting a government shutdown for now. Earlier, I spoke with Vance Ginn, formerly chief economist at the Office of Management and Budget, and now serving as president of Ginn Economic Consulting. Vance, thanks so much for joining us. To begin with, Congress has frequently resorted to continuing appropriations resolutions due to budgetary delays. How do these temporary measures affect long-term budget planning and economic stability? And what can be done about it?
Well, it's great to be with you, and it hurts. It hurts economic stability and financial stability in particular, because you don't know what is going to happen in the future. You don't know what those federal funds are going to be, which also influences taxpayers because they don't know how much in taxes that they're going to pay over time, given the increase in the deficit and everything else. And look, we're at nearly $34 trillion in national debt. Just net interest payments on the alone are $1 trillion now. This is really hurting Americans. And so when you see all this uncertainty, you see the dysfunction out of Congress, it really starts to, kind of go through ripple effect throughout the rest of the economy. And business investment is also influenced. Now, at the same time, we don't have a lot of increases in economic growth from federal funding, as that's all going to be taken out of the private sector. And that's why it leads to this uncertainty throughout the economy.
And would that be the same for just within itself, the threat of a government shutdown? What kind of impact does that have?
Well, it has an impact in the sense that it hurts a lot of the federal employees. There could be some furloughs that happen over a period of time. It could also influence some of the contracts that are paid out to private businesses for, military products or equipment and everything. And so there could be a lot of other influences throughout the economy. At the same time, I really think we've got to look at this is an important situation that we have a fiscal crisis on our hands right now. We've got to get spending under control, or we're going to continue to see higher interest rates and higher inflation.
So how do you suggest that Congress could create some kind of more streamlined process or somehow work towards a process that doesn't include frequent continuing resolutions?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's one that's basically happened over most of the last 30 years. We've had very few times where they've passed a budget on time, which is another reason why it shows the dysfunction of Congress, where they have these 12 bills that go through different appropriations, and then that is passed in order to make a full budget cycle. The last time I've checked, I think they've only passed 4 of those bills out of the 12, so only a third of the way there, and we're way into this current fiscal year. And so I think at the end of the day, what we need to have is one budget, like many states do across the country. Instead of having all these different budget bills, let's have one budget to pass. I think that will help. But we also need spending limits. There should be fiscal restraints on the budget, because if not, you get this runaway spending that we've had over the last couple of years. And you know what? Since June, there's already been nearly $2 trillion added to the national debt. Just since June, and over the last couple of months, it's been over $500 billion. This is a massive amount of money that all hurts the economy in the process.
So what alternative strategies would you suggest to both balance the budget and ensure, government fiscal responsibility?
Well, I think what we really need is a sustainable budget. We need a budget that grows by no more than the wages of people, measured by population growth, more people, and inflation that's connected to wage growth over time. So population growth plus inflation has been a good measure to use by other countries. Colorado has a spending limit like this. Texas has a spending similar like this. These are the states that have done a better job of spending over time. And if we did that at the federal level, we could have a much more balanced approach. In fact, since 2000, had Congress been passing budgets that have matched population growth plus inflation, we would have had only a $500 billion deficit instead of the more than $2 trillion increase in the national debt, over that period of time.
All right, thank you so much, Vance Ginn, former chief economist at the Office of Management and Budget and the president of Ginn Economic Consulting. Really appreciate it.